What's up guys, I'm back with another Alien Earth reaction video. Episode 5, In Space, No One, ... If you know, you know, the original tagline from the Alien trailer, 1979. This is a pretty cool episode. It takes place on the Maginot and follows Morrow and the events before the crash. A full episode dedicated to the Maginot. How cool is that? The episode starts aboard the Maginot, 17 days from Earth. We see Morrow woken up from cryosleep. Clem is standing over him, informing Morrow that there was a fire on board. Morrow and Clem walk and talk, and we get to see different parts of the ship, which is pretty cool. The inside of the ship is very similar to the ship in the 1979 film, the Nostromo. The production design is amazing and spot on. Definitely retro 70s aesthetic. At the medbay, Rahim, Zaveri, and Chibuzu are there with two crew members with facehuggers attached to their face. We learn they tried to cut one off and discovered the facehuggers bleed acid. Side note, am I the only one who thinks these names are hard to pronounce and remember? I had to search IMDb just to get these names. We learned there was a fire in the containment room. Morrow asks, what caused the fire? Captain Dinsdale got there first and put it out. Bronsky was right behind him. Two of the containment pods were open. The anthropod eggs hatched. Morrow asks, why were the egg crates open? Seems very sus. Zaveri, the captain, is dead, and the science officer is compromised. How do we get them off if we can't cut it? Zaveri says. Chibuzu jumps in the conversation. Protocols are clear. Any crew member who comes into contact with alien life forms are to be placed in cryosleep for the remainder of the journey. They agreed to put Bronsky back into the cryo bed with the facehugger attached. What could go wrong, right? Morrow, what's the status of the other entities? He orders Clem, aka Chlamydia, and Chibuzo to go back to the zoo to check the status of the specimens. Now we got two more characters here, Shumel and Malasite, in the corridor. Shumel tells Morrow the fire fried the navigation and engine relays heading towards Earth. Basically, the ship is messed up and they can't control it. Back in the zoo, Clem and Chibuzo check the status of the creatures. Panel lights are green. If containment was broken, they'd be red. So this is where the episode really kicks off. It's a whodunit episode, and Morrow, the cyborg chief of security, is investigating. It's definitely a shift in style from the previous episodes. It's like Sherlock Holmes or something. A whodunit. On the bridge, Morrow begins his investigation. Incompetence or sabotage? He poses the question to Zaveri on the bridge. The random fire took out the exact panel that controls navigation and speed. Zaveri, we don't know anything yet. It could be equipment failure. Morrow suggests a ship-wide emergency to start an official inquiry. Zaveri says the crew will panic if there is a suggestion of a saboteur on board. Zaveri says she needs to consult Mother, and Morrow calls her out on her relationship with Bronsky and says company policy forbids romantic relationships between crew members. How did you know that? She admits. Morrow, I'm head of security for the ship. I know everything. Morrow says her judgment is compromised as Zaveri is acting captain and not doing everything necessary to protect the ship. He must take command himself. Zaveri says, F you, that's mutiny. I am responsible for the well-being and safety of my people. Morrow, I'm responsible for getting this cargo back to Earth intact. So right off the bat, something's fishy. Zaveri's defensive. There's a lot of tension, obviously, between the two. Who's going to take command? Who's in charge? I don't know if she is a likable crew member. I don't know if they ever got along. If she got along with the other crew members, it's hard to say. But yeah, it's a weird dynamic with this crew. Zaveri, fine, let's go see Mother together. She tries to compromise, but Morrow says, my orders are from Yutani herself. Nothing matters but the cargo. Not you, not me, not the fucking cat. So declare the emergency, I'll be in security. Back in the cryo sleep room, Bronsky is back to bed with the facehugger attached. And then we cut to Raheem and Clem. Clem asks, what do they want? Referring to the corporations. And Raheem, Weyland-Yutani, power. It's all about power. You got 5 big corporations that control everything, but our guys want to be on top. So they send us out to collect the most terrifying shit. While they chat, we cut to a shot of Tang over the cryopod of the girl, I don't know her name. He's creeping, being very creepy. Come on, Tang, leave that poor girl alone, or I'll call the captain, Raheem says. He looks at Raheem and says, Captain's dead, then walks away slowly. Zaveri and Tang have got to be the most disliked characters on the ship and on the show. Post in the comments who's your favorite character on Alien Earth. This is a very strange crew in comparison to other crews featured in the Alien verse. This one has weird issues. Back in the specimen room, Morrow is smoking a cigar and observing the creatures in containment, carefully investigating. He takes a look at the hole in the floor where the acid burned through. He tosses his cigar down the hole. Then we cut to the security room. Morrow observes the monitors and replays video recording from the security cameras. He sees the explosion in one and the captain in another, calling fire, fire, containment breach. Morrow rewinds the video and sees the moment when someone enters and opens the containment of the facehugger eggs. He touches the screen and says, "Who are you?" Cut to the cryo sleep room. Zaveri is over Bronsky and puts the dirt/sand from Utah on his capsule cryo bed. We cut to Morrow, who's watching the security cam of the two getting busy. Cut to the facehugger tightens around Bronsky's neck. Clearly, facehuggers don't sleep in cryosleep. Next, we see Malicite and Shumel. A funny moment between the two, Malicite and Shumel, about a pie. Morrow shows up looking for blueprints. He gets around the ship without using the halls. Malicite, who? Shumel, are you saying someone set the ship on fire? Morrow, where are you on the repairs? Shumel, the relays are severed. Trunk calls need to be replaced. Days, not hours. Malicite, are you saying someone broke the ship on purpose? Morrow, I'm not saying nothing. I'm saying nothing. Failure to comply with a direct order from your security officer will result in a total forfeit of shares. Cut to Morrow and Clem in the armory room. Morrow pulls a knife on Clem, reminding the audience that Morrow is a cyborg. His arm can transform into weapons or tools. Is it you? He has Clem trembling. After a stare down, Morrow, convinced he can trust Clem, hands him a pistol. Did you pull the communication logs? We learn that someone deleted all the files. Clem is running a recovery program, like Windows recovery. Morrow, innocent people don't destroy evidence. Cut to Zaveri. She is accessing Mother's chamber room. I don't know what you call it. Is that Mother's room, chamber room, escape pod? She announces to Mother that she's taken over taken over since the captain is deceased. Mother allows access and asks about the cargo. Zaveri types back. Mother replies asking about the containment. Zaveri requires permission to destroy the cargo should threat to crew increase. Mother replies, survival of the cargo is top priority. Survival of the cargo is top priority. Acknowledge. Zaveri thinks for a moment before replying, and Mother replies again, acknowledge or security will take command. Zaveri, not wanting security to take command, types to Mother, acknowledged. Cut to Morrow in his room, in his quarters, looking at old photos. We see the cat. He reads a letter from his bed. Cut to Morrow walking along the beach with his daughter, looking up at the stars. I'll always be there looking back at you. We then see another letter. Mission 8 of 65. Mr. Morrow, this is to inform you that your daughter, Estelle, 19, died in a fire that destroyed her home on the 12th of April. Her effects have been placed in storage for you on your return in 53 years. I like how this episode touches on the years of space travel. It's not like Star Wars or Star Trek where it's light speed, warp speed. These missions take decades and people actually age. So your family back home, not the same age. And cryosleep, yeah, so other sci-fi shows, they don't have that same kind of science fiction. The next day in the bridge is a very moral British guy talking about the saboteur. They wanted Tang to... Tang is there listening or doing some, I don't know what they... he's doing. I don't know. What is Tang's job? He's just kind of a creeper. He's just... What does he even do? He's a science officer or something, or... I don't know. But Tang is there, and he's very observant. He basically says what they're thinking, so he doesn't really leave the room. Alarm goes off. Mother cryopod, quarantine, cryosleep room, and then they run to the cryosleep room. Chest burster escaped the pod. Raheem standing by Bronsky's broken pod. Bronsky was frozen. What if you can't freeze those things? The embryo hatched. So Morrow's arm... Let's see. Oh yeah. Morrow arms Zaveri with a non-lethal weapon. It's like a taser. Back in the specimen room, Chibozi is having lunch while feeding the specimen 19 dead rat lunch. We see it from the perspective of the Oculus, which is pretty cool. There are two species, 19 in the container. One goes to eat the rat, the other climbs up and escapes the capsule. The Oculus observes this happening the entire time, and species 19 outside of the container. Oculus is smart. It's tapping on the glass, trying to warn Chibozi, trying to get her attention. But she doesn't understand what it's doing. She thinks it's just being annoying. So she gets annoyed with the Oculus and moves the container back on the shelf. While she does this, species 19 feasts on the water from her water bottle, and the table then drops eggs into her bottle. So the eggs drop into the water, which is pretty gross when that happens. It hides in her sandwich after dropping the kids at the pool. Raheem enters the room and sees the alien in her sandwich. He grabs it with tongs or some sort of tool and puts it back in the container. Raheem tells Chibozi that Bronsky is dead. They both leave the room. Chibozi takes the contaminated water bottle with her. She's really thirsty. She likes to drink throughout the ship, even though we haven't seen her drink earlier. I guess it's lunchtime, and she's just super thirsty. The Oculus is now moving around the container and knocks the container and escapes. It shatters on the ground. Back in the living room, the crew gets together. Zaveri tells everyone the thing escaped. It's growing, and they'll sweep the ship. Fuel break. Okay, basically everything is going to hell at this point. They're screwed, and all non-lethal movement is suspended. Malachite is eating during this time, and Morrow is saying that shares will be deducted, or Zaveri is saying that shares will be deducted. Malachite basically takes a sip starts choking on the food he was eating, and he takes the bottle that Chibozi brought and drinks from it. Morrow goes over the conditions and wants information that leads to an arrest. Everyone will get an extra share. So again, there's tension with Zaveri and Morrow about what the command is, what the orders are. And yeah, the shares, it's all about the money. The meeting is over, they go their separate ways. Malachite and Shumel, Zaveri and Chibozi team up. Morrow is in the security room doing the Windows data recovery, and we cut to an interrogation scene with Morrow and Raheem. The medbay cameras have a blind spot. You were off screen for 10 minutes. Malachite and Shumel doing repairs. 65 years of your life equals a quarter of a share. At this point, Malachite is having stomach issues. We've all been there with food poisoning. You know the feeling. Zaveri and Shibozi return to the lab. They see the Oculus has escaped. We cut to a scene with Morrow interrogating Tang. Checked the feed. He keeps visiting the girl at night. Just because the computer said, this is an interesting scene because it actually leads somewhere. Just because the computer says cryopod is full doesn't mean it's full all the time. Morrow back in the security room, reviews personal video calls to family. He eventually gets to a video with Petrovic, the chief engineer. He's talking to someone about quarter shares. We don't see who it is. Then it reveals a two-way call, split screen with Boy Cavalier from Prodigy. You're about to be the richest man. And then he says he wants a new body. What if I don't survive the crash? And then Boy says, that would suck for you. Armed with the rifle, Morrow checks the cryo room, meets with Zaveri and Shumel in the medbay. Malachite is unconscious, being scanned. It's revealed he's losing blood. We don't know why. They go ahead with surgery to try to remove the parasites. Tang, still in the interrogation room. An alien drool drips on him from above. Raheem tries to remove the tick, but it releases some sort of gas. So this is a unique species that we've never seen before. They hit the emergency and seal the room. Raheem and Shibozi are dead. Zaveri is outside, shocked. Morrow takes command of the ship. Zaveri is in shock. Morrow uses the electric rounds. We can't lose the specimens. There's a shootout in the corridor. It's Petrovic. Clem is shot by Petrovic. Morrow eventually makes his way to Petrovic. He stabs Petrovic. And he says, they want their monsters. There they come. Oh yeah, that takes under Clem's body. Zaveri's still in shock. Shibozi and Raheem are dead. A xenomorph attacks her in the corridor. She runs, it chases her. She ends up in the engineering room and tries to seal the door. Zaveri is knocked unconscious. The Oculus has taken over Shumel. He's possessed. You could see his eye has changed. The xenomorph shows up. Yeah, this is a pretty cool fight scene with the Oculus and Xenomorph. The Oculus takes over Shumel, who becomes superhuman. He's jumping off of the control panel and jumping onto the Xenomorph, and then it starts biting the Xenomorph. We've never seen that in the Alienverse until today, until this episode. Yeah, so then the alien starts stabbing him with the tail and eventually throws him into the panel. And then the Oculus, the alien kills Shumel, but the Oculus escapes from the eye socket and then jumps onto the Xenomorph, which is another thing we've never even seen before. So this is all brand new, very cool stuff. Morrow enters the chamber room and seals the door while Zaveri is trying to get in. The Xenomorph comes back. We don't know what happened to the Oculus. It looks like he killed the Oculus, or it killed the Oculus. And attacks of Xeno kills Zaveri. And then it tries to break into the room, the chamber of Mother. And then this is where we get the escape pod. Morrow escapes. The episode ends with Yutani and Morrow on Earth. Yutani reveals the connection of Morrow to the grandma, Yutani, and Yutani reveals that she will be meeting with Boy Cavalier in a meeting. Morrow warns her to bring soldiers, not lawyers. There you have it. That is episode 5, In Space, No One. Alien Earth, still going strong. I think each episode is awesome, the characters, and I enjoyed this episode because of the kind of different style of investigation, whodunit, and we get to meet more of the characters and see what happened to the Maginot, which is how we started the series. So now we know what happened. It was a total shit show. Everybody hated each other, and rest in peace, I guess. And yeah, the cargo has made it back to Earth, and so we'll see where the series goes from here. It's cool that they're showing more of Yutani, because originally all these characters are they're just names. We don't have faces that go along with it. So now it's cool to see the visualization of these corporations. Hit like and subscribe for more Alien Earth content. Thanks for watching.